Hello everyone, how's it going? This is Sammy with Unicorn Dust Designs. We do DIYs and wood signs. Before I get into this video, okay, this is part 2. The part 1 had over 11,000 views and I only got 300 subscribers from that. Something's not adding up. So I want you to take a second right now. I want you to hit that like button. If you're watching it, like button is over here. And I want you to subscribe and make sure you put all on that notification. So I will give you a second. You gonna give them a second? Okay, good. Giving you that second. Did you do it yet? Do it, and then we'll get into the video and then I'll show you how I made this rad sign that is gonna be amazing for gift giving, for your own house, well, anything, okay? All right, so now that you've done that, I can explain what we're gonna do with this part 2 video. So part 2, I'm still gonna walk you through the process. It's gonna be a little bit more quickly, and then we are gonna get into doing a little bit more with our stencil, our paint, our decorations, I guess, and we will be adding florals to this sign as well. So if that's something that you want to watch, then keep on going, and I will try and put some timestamps down below, so if you've already seen the first half of this part, then you can kind of skip ahead if you just want to see the flowers or whatever it may be. So with that said, again, like and subscribe, okay. Now let's go get into this. All right, y'all, let's get started. So sorry about this crappy shadow. I'm like trying to adjust to show you guys and I cannot figure out this shadow. Hopefully next time I do a wood sign, I fix this problem. So I'm trying to show you right here. See those lines? You guys asked me a couple times, like, what lines am I talking about? These are glued wood pine panels. So they should always have like the line to where they glued them. These make amazing project pieces because you already have that perfect line set up for you. Now I did already sand this. I already stained this. If you want to see how I do that, then I will link the first video, part 1, up above. So for this, I did actually, before I made that stencil, I decided how far up on my piece of wood I wanted to go and then measured the length and the width of that part. And that's how I decided how big I was going to make my stencil. So right here, you guys, I showed I'm using Oramask. Is it Oramask? No, I don't know. This is, the tape is 233. I will try and link it down below. You can get this tape at like car detailing like stores in your area. If you try to buy them on Amazon, it is absolutely outrageous how much this tape is. But you guys, this tape gives you the cleanest lines. It adheres so well because this is used for like painting cars and stuff. It adheres so well to the wood. If I use plain old painter's tape, I always get some sort of bleed on it. So I highly recommend this tape. I will link the Amazon to it just so you can see what it's called and what it looks like. But I would definitely check with a local shop. So right here, I am showing you guys, play around with your paints, because on the left, that is Rust-Oleum charcoal, in the middle is Milk Paint Eclipse, and on the right is Folk Art Rich Black. She wanted black, and I wanted to give her what she asked for. So I'm glad I sampled all of those out first. So I ended up going with Folk Art Rich Black Chalk Paint. You guys, this stuff, 1 coat. Now, I'm going fast around this because you guys have seen me do this before in the previous one. I am putting 1 even coat on, and then as you see, I take my roller and go back over it. That way you don't see the lines of the end of the roller, if that makes sense to you. And then I always get my sides. I mean, to each their own though, because sometimes it could add dimension or whatever the case may be, but I like doing the bottom of my signs. And sorry, that is not in frame, but it's not like it's a big deal. And then we are gonna wait for that to dry. You guys, this only took one coat of that rich black. And now look, oh, there is like no better feeling than taking off tape or a stencil and seeing no bleeds. And your girl is gonna save that tape because it's expensive, and we are going to reuse that on another project. So look at this. Look at how clean the lines are. Look at how straight they are because we used the lines that were already there for us to put that on. So now, you guys, I am going to take these stencil tools, and I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're called Stencil Tools Show Offs Dauber Set, and it comes in 5 pieces. As you can see on my piece of wood, I practiced before I did this. I'm telling you, don't make anything permanent. If you've never used it, practice first. You want to make sure that this dauber is completely covered on and kind of around the edges, or else you're gonna get like half a circle. So make sure you play on some scrap wood with this. They came in, I think this is 2 sizes, the size I'm using, and then one that's kind of, I would say like triple the size. And I went ahead and just put them where I thought they needed to go. And this was my first time using this. I was so excited that my client was like, yes, do some polka dots, love it. So I was super stoked. I will definitely be using these a lot in the future. Make sure to use your 40% off coupon code at Hobby Lobby. It's originally $4.99 on the bag. I will try linking them down below. So there is our polka dot. She looks great. All right, now we are completely dry. I am going with my linen white chalk paint. That is a roller I got at Menards. It is smaller than the one I previously used because we don't need to cover a lot of space here. And paint wise, we don't need that much either. So you could always pour more, start with a little so you're not wasting paint, and go from there. Okay, so pour that baby out. I love using my Rust-Oleum chalk paints on everything. You can also use your Waverly, your folk art. It does not matter. I just like for things like in white, or mostly just the white, like having the large can is very nice because I use so much of it. So buying the smaller ones just isn't practical. Okay, so this vinyl, you guys, this is Oramask 813 stencil vinyl. This works amazing if you are trying to stencil over paint. I have tried 651 permanent. It rips up my paint. 813, I have way too many bleeds, the removable vinyl. And this by far is the best stencil. I rarely have bleeds. I don't want to say never. I rarely have bleeds with it. I like how I'm playing around with it right now. It doesn't just like cling to the board and just stick. You can move it around. It's easy to cut. And you could get, I got one roll to just try it out on Amazon. I will link it down below. And you could also buy them from, you know, Brilliant Vinyl. I mean, anywhere you can get it from. So right here, you guys, I am getting the top of the T, the top of the E on the, and I'm using that as my guideline to how to get it straight so that I don't have a lopsided text on there. So then I get my ruler and I'm measuring the top of the T and the top of the E because I know those are straight lines. So I want to make sure that they are the same distance from the top of our black line. I hope I'm explaining that. So they weren't even, so I adjusted it again. You just have to take your time with these, you guys. There is nothing worse than like putting your stencil down, painting, and then lifting up your sign and realizing that your text is crooked. Ugh, it's horrible. So now we're just pressing this down. You guys have seen me do this a million times. Just make sure to press this down very, very good. You want to get in all the cracks, the crevices. I am not using my my vinyl tool like to rub on top of it because this is black chalk paint and I don't want to put scratches in it by doing that. So now I'm peeling off. I swear this contact paper was so sticky. I think it was the duck command from Walmart. Sometimes it gets like that and I don't know why. That's why I've said in previous videos, like I love this silhouette contact paper because it just comes off so easy, but it is so hard to get the vinyl to stick to it. So that's why I always kind of go back to this or the contact paper that you can get from Dollar Tree. So you can also get a bigger roll of contact paper from Dollar Tree, not Dollar Tree, Walmart. So Walmart has the contact paper and they have this duck command stuff. So now that we have that on there, I am getting my fingers and I am rubbing down all of those edges. I do not want any bubbles or any gaps where our paint can fall down into. So just to ensure that I have extra security, I get my finger, I rub all of those letters down on the edges, and I just make sure that we don't have any bubbles. So now I'm taking, this one's just a basic painter's tape. This isn't the one I said was expensive. And I am just marking off anywhere that is black and anywhere that, if I'm not careful, it would suck to get white on. So I tape off all of my edges to this stencil because, man, if you ruin this sign at this point, whew, it would not be good. Okay, so I hope I get that corner. Did I get that corner? Okay, so right now I'm looking because I probably saw like a bubble or something in the vinyl that I want to make sure is pushed down. Okay, I don't get that side. That's cool. All right, so I am just giving this a thin roll. Okay, you do not want to press down on your roller because if you press down, then you are dispersing a large amount of paint and it will get under your stencil. So do not push down, just lightly coat it because you could go back and do more coats. So just a light coat right here. I am just trying to cover all of our text first. And then you'll see me like go back and do the same technique, how I kind of just like roll the brush on everything so that I can even out the paint texture so that you don't see all of my roll marks. I don't know. I don't think I'm explaining that right, but this ended up taking you guys 3 coats of white chalk paint. See how I'm just going nice and slow back and forth because the end of that roller will leave like a line mark. So if you put different pressure down while you're rolling it, you'll see that line through the text. I think that was a better explanation. So I always go over it lightly and try to even out everything I just did. So there we go. That was coat 1. I completely let it dry, and then I go back and I do my second coat. And I do it the same way, lightly, and then I will roll on just like that to make sure that it's even. And just make sure to take a good look at it. See if you missed paint anywhere, like in your text or anything like that. And then this is, I believe, the 3rd coat. Again, I waited until the 2nd coat was completely dry. You could also put like a blow dryer on cool setting, not hot. And if you want to speed up the process just a little bit. And now we are done. So you guys, this is the best. If it's not taking the tape off a straight line, it is taking your look. I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait. Come on, get that corner. Get that corner, girl. And then when you're like, oh my gosh, was there bleeding? Was there not? And I was like, yes! No bleeding. But then look at that white mark. Do you see that? No. No, it's there. It's there. And guess what? That is where I did not put painter's tape. That is why you cover it up, you guys. Right there. So I also love this stencil paper too, or sorry, vinyl, because it is not... I always use 651 if I'm just directly painting onto wood, and that like sticks. That sticks good. So it takes a little effort to get it back off, but this stencil vinyl, it comes off so easily for you. Make sure when you are taking this off, whenever you are using chalk paint, as you peel it up, it crumbles a little bit. That's why like my fist is on the wood part, not on the black. Because if you get any of that little debris that's like falling off and you accidentally like rub it on the black or whatever paints down, it's going to stay like it is painted. There will be no getting it off. So you have to, that's why I keep brushing every little bit. If I see any little bit of chalk paint, I brush it off because I do not want to run the risk of accidentally rubbing it into that black paint. So be careful. Also be careful when you're weeding your little parts, especially on top of black paint, because you don't want to gouge your wood, because then that it's going to leave a mark and you're going to take out some of that black paint, and you do not want that either. So we are done with that. We need to cover that black. So all I do is I take my Folk Art black chalk paint, rich black, and I am lightly getting a thin paintbrush and going over it. And you guys, that will dry back down to matte. You will not even know I did it, okay? So, hello, it's a new day. Always wait overnight before you apply your clear, okay? That is very important because you need to let... Sorry, I'm just using the blow dryer because I have dogs and stuff, and I am making sure that I don't have any dog hair on there, any extra chalk paint, little chips. I'm just making sure that all of the debris is off of my sign so it doesn't stick on there with the clear. So, like I was saying, chalk paint needs 24 hours. Found this at Menards. Amazing. It is called a paint dozer, and you can use it to take off the top of your can. And you guys, it has this little rim part where you run it on the sides and it puts the paint back in the pan. You know how like you pour your paint can out and then there's all that extra that's like left on the seal right there. I got two extra ones for giveaways. Okay. All right. So do you see how I'm like taking all the excess off? This Helmsman is very, like, has a watery, I don't know, not texture. But you do not need a lot. A little bit goes a long way, okay? So do not douse your board with it. Make sure, if you are putting this outside, Helmsman, water-based, okay? You want water-based. If you don't get water-based, you are going to see the yellow in your white paint. So make sure it's water-based. I have Helmsman water-based linked down below in my description. Make sure you are also getting every inch of this, okay? So look down. If you see any matte little pieces showing through, it should not show matte if the paint has wetted. So just make sure you're getting every single piece of this. Okay, so you guys, sorry, you need to wait 24 hours to put your clear on, because chalk paint, if you don't wait, it needs to cure. It needs to set up. If you don't wait and you put this clear on, you will see like smearing of the chalk paint. So wait, take your time, and then clear it, okay? So if this was inside, if you knew the sign was going inside, you could use polyacrylic as well. Make sure you are using water-based. So now I'm getting our edges. As you can clearly see, I mean, you have to get your edges anyways, but I mean, look at that. if you didn't get your edges and let that dry, it would dry exactly like that with those cloudy like drips. And we do not want that. So make sure you do not forget to get your sides because you will have it dripping down. I never have to dip my brush back into my can to do my sides because I have plenty from where it's dripped from the top. So make sure we get all of that done. And I am just using a chippy brush. I actually found these awesome synthetic brushes. I believe they're synthetic from Walmart. And I want to try using that on one of these signs next time because usually, didn't happen in this video though, but chippy brushes always shed. And then you're trying to get it out of off of your wood sign. So I want to try the next time I'm going to try that for you guys because I think it would be a lot better. Okay, so that is good. I got my blow dryer. It is on cool. And I am just running that over just to kind of get a little bit dried. And then I will step away. I will let the rest kind of dry on its own. And then we will come back. So I am using a doggy pea pad. These are amazing for crafting. Okay, you could use whatever you want. But I am using this because I have to put my sign face down and I don't want to risk hurting the front, even though it's already cleared. I don't know, whatever. Usually I do, if you saw the other video, I do clear the backs first because I do not like putting my sign face down on my table. Don't ask me why, but I just do not like, after I paint it and work so hard on it, putting it face down. And I craft all the time, so there could be paint, there could be, I don't know, something that I'm like, I don't want to run the risk. So usually I do clear the back and put the D-hooks on before I paint my front. So that's the synthetic brush. Okay, my bad. I did try it. That is the synthetic brush from Walmart. It came in a 3-pack and I think it was like $4. And I do remember now. It worked great. So here are my D-hooks, you guys. Full disclosure. The D-hooks that I have linked in my Amazon account are not exactly these. These are no longer available. So I researched and I found you guys an alternative. I looked at the reviews. They're as close to these as I could find. So those are also linked down below in Amazon. I usually always go at least 3 inches in on each side with my D-hooks. I usually angle them kind of in just because like when you lift up your ribbon to hang, it naturally goes towards the middle. I am using my natural line that the wood already gives us for my, what do you call it? For my guide. So it's super easy because you got your guide right there. All right, now we are attaching our string. This is where we didn't see last time in the video. So I always cut my burlap ribbon at 22 inches long. I think that's the perfect size for these. You can use anything you want, you guys, okay? So you can do this burlap, you can do patterned ones, you can do, I don't know. Possibilities are endless. You could tie twine on it if you want. It just needs to be a thicker twine, obviously, than like the Dollar Tree skinny one. Okay, so now I'm putting these through my loops. You guys make sure, as I've said in the previous video, you put something behind there because obviously you don't want your hot glue to get onto your sign. So that's why I always have something protecting. What I need to invest in, which I think would be amazing, that is my nifty hot glue pencil, is a silicone mat. I need one. I've ruined so many of my measuring mats and stuff like that because of hot glue, and I really just need to invest in a silicone mat. I wonder if you could use the silicone mats that you find at like the Dollar Tree for like your to set like your pans on and stuff. Your girl's gonna try that, okay? I need to remember. So now I'm pressing this down with my finger because I want the hot glue to get in all those little crevices of the burlap ribbon. I had somebody ask the other day in comments from the previous video if I've ever had issues with like using just hot glue? And the answer is no. I've had signs hanging on my doors for quite some time. I do have a storm door protecting it though, but have never had issues, and I've never had any clients come back and tell me that it's falling apart or it's not holding up. So as far as I know, they are okay with the hot glue. You could also use the hot glue and mix it with E6000 too if you'd like. I wouldn't suggest using staples or anything like that though. Make sure when you are hot gluing this that you do not keep it down on your cardboard if you don't have like a silicone mat, because you will rip that cardboard up with it. So that's just some word of advice, but your girl is gonna go and try one of those silicone mats from Dollar Tree and see if it works. This is me. Don't know why I did that. Probably because there was like a notification on the top of my phone. But so I cannot stand when the little stringies from the glue gun get all over you. And you guys, I use Surebonder glue guns. I have this blue one that I'm using. This is like my OG. I actually just messaged them today because I can't find this one on their website or anything to see if there's one comparable to this one. I've had my blue one for 5 years now. And I do use a black and green one every now and then, but that's for detail projects. So it is Surebonder. I have the green and black one linked down below. It is great for all projects. I just, you know, well, I fix something when it's not broken. I just love my old glue gun, you know? And I love using that other Surebonder one because it has a fine, what do you call it? Like the point where the glue comes out is very small and fine. So I love using it for making felt flowers. It is perfect for felt flowers. So yeah, go ahead, check that out. I made sure to attach one that had like a little bit of glue sticks in there already for you and everything. So there you go. And we are just doing, I don't know why I didn't speed this up. Sorry, you guys, because I don't think anybody needs to see this in real time. It's pretty self-explanatory. But, so if it's not my finger, I'm using my nifty pencil. And again, after you're done rubbing that in, lift it up right away if you are using something other than a silicone mat so that your hot glue gun does not stick to that cardboard. See, I almost forgot. That would have been poo-poo. Let me know, you guys, if you work on these. Okay, sorry, can't get into that conversation. So she said she wanted sunflowers. She did not specify if she wanted bows or nothing. She just said that she wanted sunflowers, black and white polka dots. I said, okay. So first I go about playing around. These, I believe, are from Michael's, these sunflowers. And always, you guys, biggest word of advice, always keep open communication with your clients, okay? Because what you like, they may not like, or what you think is spectacular, they will be like, no, that's not like what I wanted at all. So I played around with these and I did this. I took a picture of it, sent it to her and said, is this what you're wanting? She said, no, I wanted, she goes, I feel like it needs more of the sunflowers. So then I bundled them like all together like that, sent her a picture, and she still was kind of like, I don't know, like it's just not working for me. So I was like, you know what? Let me try it with a bow and then maybe it'll work and I'll send you another picture. So first I made this bow and I was like, no, I don't know why, but I don't like those bows. So then I already had this pre-made burlap bow and I was like, you know what? That is cute. It took me about 5 minutes of thinking, you guys. It's no big deal. Okay. So I'm like, okay, we're doing that. We're doing this. So this is how I'm going to show you guys how to attach your florals to this so that you don't have to glue every single one down onto your board and then glue your, no, we don't do that. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through this. I did a step-by-step tutorial, you guys, on these bows. I will link it up above. That is why I'm fast forwarding through this, because I do a very, very thorough step-by-step in another video. But I will slow down when I show you how I'm going to go about attaching this this bow to the florals. So I love, you guys, I am not good at like cutting flower stems off and then wiring them together. If you just saw my latest DIY calendar video, oh my gosh, that was a hot mess on the florals I tried to do. I love when you can take bundles, like a whole bundle of branches or flowers, and then just put them directly together and not have to play around with like the placement of them. I mean, your girl will. If somebody wanted, you know, a bunch of different flowers, I'll figure it out, and it just takes me some time. But I am really good with gluing them on, and I am really good if it is whole bundles. So here we are finally. I had to redo this bow like 2 times because I wasn't getting my sides even. So here's our burlap from the middle. Remember, if you go back and look at my video, it is just one strip of burlap. So I'm using my wire cutters. You could get these at any hardware store. These my husband just gave me. So I don't know. I'll try looking them up on Amazon for you guys. And now I'm going to play around with my placement before I glue it or wire my florals, okay? So always, you guys, always play around. Just like we tested the paint first. We tested the daubers first. Like, you have to make sure, I don't care how many times you do it, you play around with it first, because I don't know how many times I've made this bow, but I don't get it usually right the first time. I have to play around with it, because if I were to have just glued this, then I probably would have been unhappy with it, because I wanted to push the flowers in a little bit more. See how I'm pushing those in? I want them to look fluffy and full. So just take your time. I know y'all are excited, but just go slow. What's the saying? Slow and steady wins the race, or something like that. Okay, so now I found the placement. I know where I want my florals to be. I know how I want them to be together. And I'm taking a wire ribbon. You guys, this wire ribbon from Dollar Tree, I don't want to knock it because I have used it several times, but it is super thin and it is hard to like get it tight. So I'm using my pliers, trying to kind of like wind it up. And then I'm going to wrap it around and around the florals. I picked up floral tape the other day, and I am going to try that out and see if it makes a big difference for me and makes it a little easier. So I'll definitely let you all know that. Okay, so florals are wired together. They ain't gonna move. And now we're going to put our bow on, our burlap bow. She cool, she cute. You guys, I don't know what I'm talking about over here, okay? I think it's so funny. I seriously stare at things. If you guys were to see a majority of these videos in real time, I will legit just stare at something for like 5 minutes and really think about it, because I'm like, I don't want to commit to you until I am like 110% sure, you know? So I'm committed here. I'm ready to go. So I'm wrapping the strand around one time, and then we're going to wrap it around a second time. Now, y'all, this is tight. This is a tight wrap. My flowers ain't going nowhere, okay? And we haven't even glued them yet. But you know that they're not going to move around because, 1, you've already wired them. And now 2, you've secured them in this little bed of a bow. I don't know what I'm talking about. Now I'm taking my glue gun and I am putting, as usual, a healthy amount of hot glue in there. If you guys do not think hot glue will withstand this, you can always add yourself some E6000. But just keep in mind with E6000, it gets super hard. So that can get in the way if you're trying to glue this down onto the board and it's like wobbly and not flat, if that makes sense. So anyways, I'm just taking my finger and kind of pressing it on. I want to make sure it gets in all the grooves of the burlap. And then we're going to put another generous amount on the top of it because we do not want them going anywhere. And this is my burlap from the Dollar Tree, I believe. I was super lucky to have found all of that burlap, 10 yards in California. Have not seen it once out here in Kansas, so I was super lucky. And I have not found it on their website. So Walmart is your best bet, or maybe, I don't know, like I've never looked online at like burlap actual stores or anything, so we'll see. All right, we don't want that ducktail there. That ducktail gotta go, girl. It's like a mullet. Business in the front, party in the back, but I ain't down for that party right now, okay? We ain't down to party. We gotta get down to business. So mullet tail is coming off. All right, there we go. There we go. Shake her loose. And then you guys, so this is where I would usually get some E6000 hot glue, put it on the back of our bow area, and then put a piece of wood on top of it to keep its place, and then sit overnight for 24 hours. E6000 has a jelly substance to it, so it will keep moving around. That's why you always add the hot glue, is for that immediate hold to it so you can keep it where you want it. But you guys, I sent this picture to my client and she did not want the bow either. So she wanted more flowers. She didn't like the grouping in the middle. Neither did I personally. So we grouped it to the side. She did not want leaves or anything. So you guys, cover that bottom part. You'll see why I do it. I'm putting the E6000 around it, and then I'm putting the hot glue. And then I'm going to stick this baby back on. But look what happened. Oh, look, I dropped that. Imagine if that was not there. My piece would have been ruined because that glue would have not come off. And if it did come off, it would have peeled up my paint so hard. So that is why I protected it. And gosh, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I would have been devastated to get that far in the project and then ruin it with something as simple as that. Whew, goodness. Talk about your heart skipping a beat. So as I said just a little bit ago, I'm using the E6000 because I want that long lasting cement hold to it. And then I'm using the hot glue because I want them to stay in place right now while I'm doing this. And as I'm doing it, you guys, I'm just moving one flower at a time because I want to keep my placement. Like I want to remember where I had these flowers. So I just move them around one at a time as I'm doing it. I hope that makes sense. So see how I kept the other flower in place? Because I want to make sure that I get this back where I just had it. And these sunflowers were perfect because they had like the perfect place to put the hot glue and everything. Make sure you always use coupons. I do use Dollar Tree flowers on some of my things, but for usually these rounds and stuff, I will use nicer flowers from like Michael's, Joann's. Walmart has stellar florals and stuff available, so also check them out. And look at you guys. She's stunning. She is so beautiful. Like, I am so stoked. I already told my client, I'm like, I'm already making another one of these, and I'm going to use the bow with the sunflower, and I'm going to use a couple more lines on there. Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked. I'm so happy when customers like ask you to make something you haven't made before. Like I haven't done a black and white sign. I haven't done polka dots. I haven't done sunflowers. So I was stoked. And she was so, so happy with the way that it turned out, which makes me super happy as well. It makes my heart super happy when I know that like I did something for somebody else and they love it. So I noticed, you guys, because I dropped this big flower, so some of the glue did come off. I am sticking my hot glue gun down behind it and I am putting a little bit more glue in there so that I can ensure that it's holding up, okay? So I think I show you, yeah. Like there was a gap in there, so I made sure to put some in there so we don't got flowers falling on our floor later. And this, you guys, somebody asked like how I package them, so I will let you go ahead and watch that. All of these are from the Dollar Tree. These can be found in the crafters section. Some of them are Heidi Swap, some of them are Dollar Tree brand, but they are so beautiful. I have my business card, and then we are going to hand write a note. I think it is so important to hand write a note and not just give them like a generic printout from your computer or something you have stamped. I just love handwriting things. So that is what we do. So all my note says to my customer is, thank you so much. Of course, I put her name. Thank you so much for supporting my small business. I had so much fun creating it and cannot wait to see a pic of it hanging in your room. Sammy. So now I'm going to get this little card. Make sure you get your business card, of course. And I'm just going to hole punch these. Hopefully that didn't, oh, yeah, that's cool. Didn't even think to look at what I'm cutting off. In the, of course I would forget, twine. Alright, then I'm just gonna get some twine. Just make it easy, simple. If you are selling to people local, you don't have to get extravagant with this. You don't have to wrap it up and use all of like your shipping resources and stuff like that, because people usually when they grab it, they want to see it right away. So what I'm gonna do is come back here and I'll tie this up. What I really want to get is a like a, what do you call those, like a branding stamp to put on all of my wood, because I don't know, I don't feel comfortable putting like a vinyl sticker on it. I just kind of, I don't know. I mean, if I received something, Hank, I don't know, honey, that had a sticker on the back of it, I would just kind of be like, that kind of, don't put stickers on my stuff kind of thing, you know? But if it was branded on there, I don't know why I feel different. But, so there it is. Just put that. Now she has my business card. There is a personal note on there for her, and it's ready to go. So I know some of you guys wanted to see how I package my local, or what I do with them, and that is it, you guys. Well, here she is in all her glory. She turned out absolutely stunning. I texted my husband a picture right away and was like, I am going to make so many more of those. I was very proud of myself. And you guys, if you enjoyed this video, again, please give me a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. It helps my growing channel out so much, and I would love to be doing more of these for you. So have a great week. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something. Goodbye.